everyone, and welcome back to the Unbothered Podcast, where we like to chat about the challenge, whether it's on MTV, CBS, or Paramount Plus, such as the current season of All Stars 4. And that is what we're here to recap. It is a new week, a new episode, and you have myself, Nadine, along with Tia and Caitlin. And we're going to break down the most recent episode and talk about any behind the scenes theories and tea. Yeah, All Stars. I'm
I
so
love all.
excited.
I know.
I'm
And
so I'm so happy to have something to look forward to.
I was just gonna throw it out there. Yes, I know that my background is not the same as everybody else's. Just get over it. I can't figure my shit out. So moving on.
Her Zoom app on her iPhone is being très difficult.
Yes.
Très difficult. And I don't like Apple products. So I can only help you so
I
much.
love Apple
I
products. They're
know
so
because they're always
good.
so goddamn complicated and they don't freaking need to be. Ugh.
Mm.
Anyway, before I start going on a tangent, this episode is titled True Colors. That's why I love ya. Like they
It's a
played at
great
the end.
song.
It is great. And I loved how they
All the
did it at
music
the
they
end.
play is good.
Yeah. Seriously, whomever does the music for All Stars needs to be nominated for an Emmy. You deserve
Yeah.
recognition. Whomever you or you all are. I don't know if it's one person or not.
Agreed.
So just as a reminder, as of week 3, the current star holders are Cara, Rachel, Tina, Brad, Steve, and Adam. The episode opens up with everybody returning from the elimination where Tina won by default because Janelle decided to leave the show. And she now has a star, which she stole from Avery. And then it cuts from that to Kim and Leroy scrolling through pictures of baby Kingston. He's so cute.
So cute.
He's so cute. I love little videos.
They make cute
And then
babies.
they they do. I mean, I'm not surprised. They make adorable babies. And then from that, it cuts to Rachel and Tina having a heart to heart with Ayana, and Rachel is just kind of advising her that less is more sometimes when you're talking with these people because Rachel hears the murmurings and the whisperings from other people in the house, like regarding Ayana and just the difficulty that they're having. And she's just like trying to be a friend and being like, you need to rein it in a bit. Just rein it in. And
I don't see
Ayana talks about, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't see Ayana being a less is more person.
No,
And I
but
don't
Rachel's
always see
trying.
her wanting to take constructive advice either. So,
Also correct.
yeah.
And Ayana kind of talks about how her and Rachel have developed a close relationship because Rachel's really helped Ayana with her weight loss and fitness journey over the last couple of years.
And
And
she
so that's
looks
kind
great.
of she does look great.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've met her in person and I was like, holy crap, girl, like you look amazing. So they developed that friendship and rapport out of the house. And Rachel still considers her a friend. So being the good friend she is, she's trying to tell her, like, you need to back down a little bit. As we see as the episode progresses, that advice is lost on her. No surprise.
Yeah.
Derek also says in his confessional that Ayana is really good at picking at somebody's weakness, and that's kind of how she pushed out Janelle. But all she's really doing is putting a bigger target on her own back. And again, her behaviors just end up making that even worse. And then it cuts from that to Tony pulling Nicole into his room, where he's trying to have a serious conversation. Basically, we don't exactly know why, but it sounded like some sort of a family emergency. His brother called, said he needed to get home and handle some business. And I was distracted in the background of Steve tucked into his bed with his CPAP machine on, just snoozing away. And there's Tony and Nicole in tears and Steve in the background
Well,
sleeping.
the funniest part though was when he actually did wake up and he's looking around like, what's going on? Like, he's so confused.
Oh, he's such a gift.
That was
Um,
funny.
I don't think I have seen, like, read or heard any theories as to what the reason is that Tony had to leave. Has anybody else? And I've just missed it.
I have not seen
I've
anything.
I saw someone say that it might have been about his baby mama, the first one, the one that he was
Oh,
with. They were saying
Madison.
Oh,
because she has drug issues, so they're
Yeah,
thinking
and they
like,
have
oh, maybe she
custody.
relapsed. or something.
Mm.
That's what they think she
Okay.
might have relapsed, and
Could have
Which-
been.
that's probably why
Could-
it's not being talked about either.
Which would make sense as to why they don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
What was
I
her name?
figured
She
it
was on the
definitely
Real
was.
World.
I think it was Madison. Wasn't that
Yeah.
Madison?
I think that's her
Madison.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the same season as him and Nicole.
Right.
So we hope everything worked out positively, whatever it was. And definitely sad to see him leave so soon in the season. I was excited for Tony time to
I
return,
was
but
Yeah, I was
we know,
too.
spoiler alert, we're going to be seeing him at least for a little bit on season 40. So we have more Tony time in our near future. Hallelujah.
Just a little, FYI, Brandon thinks Tony is overrated.
Yeah, which I'm like, I guess, because you didn't really get to see him do much because he had to leave
Right.
by the third episode. So
I
I could
thought
see
that
why
was
he maybe
funny.
defaulted with him. And then there's some stupid ass shot of Laurel trying to comfort Nicole. I just know how she is and I just want to be there for her. And I'm like, oh God, shut up. You guys couldn't even be in the same kitchen to make breakfast together. Now all of a sudden you want to be a supportive ear to listen to.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I fast forward when they come on there together because it's so obnoxious. and
yeah.
just like raining, and it's just like, ugh.
Well, Jimmy
I
did
mean-
say that she's like has PTSD from
Yeah.
Nicole and Laurel on X on the Peak. So
Yeah, she's like, after living in a house with them once, she was like, I need to be compensated for emotional damages having to deal with that.
I feel
And I was like,
that.
oh God, I can only imagine. And we're going to have to deal with it probably the whole goddamn
Ugh,
rest
I
of the
know.
season. Ugh. So then we get to the daily. TJ brings out a replacement for Tony, and it is the one and only Cyrus.
Cyrus,
He's
he
looking
looked-
good.
I think he was our first interview.
He was our first official interview. He is trimmed, slim, muscled. He looks good. He looks good. The daily is basically a giant game of dominoes, and TJ then also announces, by the way, it's a double elimination. So a man and a woman will be going home tonight,
Okay.
and they have to pick their
Am
own
I the
partners.
only person that has never played dominoes and doesn't understand? I did
I've
not.
never
get
played
No,
it either.
I
Okay.
haven't either.
I didn't get it. I didn't understand. I know you had to like line up numbers that matched each other's numbers or something, but I didn't get it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've never played dominoes either. So,
Okay.
judging from the way that it sounds, whatever sides touch each other has
Has to
to
match.
be the same.
Yeah.
I
So it's
don't
just a
know how it
puzzle.
works. Yeah, it's
It's
like a
just a
game of
big
strategy
puzzle.
and a puzzle. And two of the pieces in their essentially their pack to
Were
choose from
decoys or what- right.
yeah, were decoys. They weren't going to match with anything. So they each pick their own partners. The pairs are as follows: Leroy and Flora, Cara and Ace, Tina and Keefla, Avery and Adam, Brandon and Laurel, Ryan and Cam, Jay and Nicole, Steve and Jasmine, Ayana and Cyrus, Veronica and Derek, Rachel and Brad. I'm really curious why Leroy would go with Flora and not Cara.
Unless Ace grabbed her
Well,
before Leroy.
I
don't
mean,
know.
possibly.
Well, didn't Polly tell Ace to take care of Cara, and maybe that's why,
CT did.
or CT did. My
Mhm.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe
knew
that's
somebody
why he
did.
grabbed her.
So maybe he grabbed her first.
Maybe. I mean, I
Yeah.
know obviously it makes sense why Leroy and Cam don't want to partner
Weren't
up. I mean, that makes total
together.
sense. I'm just like, Leroy, I would have grabbed Cara. I'd been like, supposed to be my bitch. Like,
She might have.
you know,
already
at the
been
very
spoken for.
least, she'll keep you out of the losers group.
True. So
Because you know,
is
one day
that-
Cam's not gonna be able to save you.
Do you think that was the beginning of Adam and Avery, or do you think they had already had a little flirt?
That's what
on, or
I
do you
put that
think
in
they
my
were-
notes. I was like,
Did
you know, he
you?
calls her Wonder Woman in his confessional.
God.
And I'm like, I wonder if this was the start of the heart eye emojis.
Yeah, they're so cute together.
They're very cute together.
And we got to meet them, and they are super cute in person together too.
They are
Yeah.
wonderful, period. They're just wonderful.
Yeah.
I put down that this daily was probably a lot more exciting to play than it is to actually watch.
True. Agreed.
I mean, you know, it's essentially a game of strategy. Long story short, Adam and Avery win. Adam gets to protect his star. You know, Avery lost her star, but she doesn't have to worry about elimination or even nominating anyone. Cara and Ace come in a solid second. Ace is like, "You're just a beast, girl." Like, I love them.
I love
That's a cute
Ace.
friendship. Yeah, I love Ace. And Ace is probably like, "Thank God Cara kept me out the losing group. Like,
Yep.
I'll partner with you every time. Trust." The other safe teams are Cam and Ryan, Nicole and JG, Brandon and Laurel, Steve and Jasmine, which means the loser group is Leroy and Flora, Ayana and Cyrus, Rachel and Brad, Tina and Keefla, and Veronica and Derek C.
I was shocked by Rachel and Brad, to be honest.
They made a boo-boo.
I know.
And by the time they realized it, it was too late to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the kind of strategy of looking at the pieces first
Yeah.
and maybe trying to suss out the decoys is the smartest, because because they're so heavy, once you're running and you've got them in place, and then you have to go back. It's like doing a Sudoku puzzle and you get 3/4 of the way through and you realize, fuck, I put a number in a wrong spot somewhere. And then you have to go back and find where the number is so you don't have to redo the whole thing.
I wouldn't
You
know
just
that.
don't have
'Cause
time.
I've never done one.
You never done Sudoku? I love Sudoku.
Nope. I like
neither.
Gotta keep my
crossword
brain
puzzles.
sharp.
I don't do numbers.
Yeah. It's good
I
brain
can't
food.
math.
So that way, I mean, it's not really a math thing. You just like the numbers just can't, go in the same row. So like
Yeah.
for Sudoku, it's like
Horrible
1 through
puzzle.
9. It's really fun. It's a good mental challenge, and it's like supposed to help stave off dementia and Alzheimer's later in life. And
That's why
I'm
I do
all about that. Yeah, crosswords are good for those too. I'm not good with crossword puzzles, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They stump me, but I love Sudoku and like Wordle and stuff like that. Sorry, we got off track.
We always do.
We always do, but it's okay. That's what makes us fun. So after the loser group is announced, they go back to the house, and Brandon tells Flora and Jasmine he overheard Ayana telling Cyrus that Camroy needs to be split up. So basically, as they were all walking back towards TJ after the bullhorn was blown, ending the daily, Ayana was just talking strategy to her partner a little too loudly, probably not even realizing it. And Brandon caught what she said. And of course, Brandon is allied with Leroy and Cam.
Right.
So
And
he's
then-
going to tell his other allies.
And we all heard it. She said it.
Yeah, she
So-
did say it.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not wrong. She's not
Right.
wrong. Relationships, couples are always targeted. Couples and best friends are always targeted because there are power in numbers, and you don't want
Absolutely.
people to have power. I mean, it's part of the game. You may not like it, and it's okay to not like it if you're on the opposite end, but I don't blame her for saying that. Obviously, it's not going to go over well when it gets, revealed to the other party. And Jasmine actually says in her confessional that while Ayana and her have had many personal conversations and heart-to-hearts outside the show, Ayana is not good for Jasmine's game, because in Jasmine's
Right.
opinion, Ayana is a manipulative person when it comes to the social game in the house, and Jasmine is just not about that life. Which I understand, but does Ayana know that? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes people are friends with others outside the house and may have a really cool or close relationship. But if you don't want to work with them in the house, you probably should tell them that. So there's no expectations. And maybe they did. I don't know. And then it cuts immediately to Keefla and Cyrus having a chat about how they're most likely going to end up facing one another in competition, because Cyrus is a latecomer to the game. He came in to replace Tony, and Keefla's like, I don't have relationships with the other people like the other 3 guys do, like Leroy does,
Yeah, that would be
like Brad
difficult.
does, and
Like,
Derek. Mhm.
yeah, like even Adam on the last, whatever, first or second
Mhm.
episode, he was the same way. He was like, he has no relationships with these people. That would
Yeah.
be tough.
Yeah, it really would be. But also props to him for being like, I don't have, these relationships. So unfortunately, it is what it is. And if I got to go in, then, I got to go in. So then they're having like a party night. It looks like they're just kind of hanging out at the house, having drinks, socializing. And Cam confides to Cara, Laurel, and Rachel about what Ayana is supposedly saying about wanting to break up Cam Roy. Laurel's like, really? You think so? She said that? And then in her confessional, she's like, I don't know, maybe she could have said that. Like, there's a lot of rumors going around, and Laurel decides to just kind of go talk to Ayana and see what she can suss out. And Ayana essentially says, if I go in, I go in. Whomever I go against, it's whatever, but I don't really want to go against Rachel. And then I think it cuts back to Cam approaching Ayana in their room and asking her about what she supposedly said. And this is where shit goes south real quick. 0 to 100 in 0.3 seconds.
And they cut out where Brandon said something to her too. Because whenever she was talking or whatever, like she came at him and then he was like, no, this is what you said. I heard you. And like they got in like a huge fight, but they cut it out.
Yeah, you know what? I did hear that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild that they cut out Brandon's argument with her. And I wonder why they didn't leave that in. Because she has the meltdown with Cam, and then like she like looks dead in the camera and starts like talking about Jasmine and like throwing all that like out, making it public business. Like, she calls me at 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, how is this Jasmine's fault?
Yeah, Brandon said that Jasmine wasn't even in the room at all until she heard like her name being thrown out, and then that's when she
Yeah.
came in all crazy. I was just like, dang.
I was like, yeah, Jasmine's not the one.
Yeah.
Well, plus, I mean, that's just crappy. You don't bring somebody into it that has nothing to do with it.
Especially someone that's going through a divorce or went through a divorce. I don't know if she's fully divorced now, but like that's some sensitive stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
And
you would
did,
hope
like,
if you were talking to somebody that it would be just between the two of you,
confidential.
not thrown out on the television for everybody to see.
Yeah, like that's personal. Like you don't see me throwing your personal shit out there that you don't want
Right.
on camera. Have some respect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just
and
Ayana
also
spirals.
not showing the Brandon stuff is par for the course for production. I feel like they cut
Yeah.
out
I mean,
all the interesting stuff.
they do. They like to sell us a half story, and then we have to wait for, Instagram lives and freaking podcast episodes and tweets to be made so we can try to get the whole story as it should have been shown. And you would think that, side note, in 2024, production knows that like all this information gets released by the cast anyway to the fans. So like, why do you insist on trying to spin a story that we know isn't real? Like we know it's not accurate.
Right.
It's
and
like
a
pissing
little
on
bit-
us and trying to convince us it's raining. It's not working.
Maybe a little bit of it is trying to shield Ayana from because of what she's going through now. That might have been part of it. They didn't want to put her in a bad light.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, we're never gonna fully know the answer anyway.
True.
Rachel then tries to calm Ayana down, like again, trying to rein her in. It's futile. Leroy kind of tries to talk to Cam, like maybe we can talk this out. Cam's like, no. And Leroy's like, I tried. I'm not fucking Dr. Phil, so meh. And Leroy's like, I'm not getting on my woman's bad side. Like, she's already stressed, she's hormonal, she's breastfeeding. Whatever she says goes. I'm not arguing with her, guys. Y'all are on your own. Sorry.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Caitlin, you might be able to answer this. So she's pumping. They're in South Africa.
Yeah.
What do they
I
do
think
with
so, right?
What do you do with all
Well,
that?
you could freeze it and ship it, but that's a lot of money because if it gets melted, you can't use it. And you have to like immediately like freeze it or put it in the fridge. You can't just let it sit out like that. So I don't know, maybe he's like there in a hotel
Might be
with
there
like
like a family member. That's what I was
And then
thinking.
production is like
that's-
delivering it. But yeah, because shipping it all the way over there, like it's like thousands of dollars because people like do donor milk and stuff like that. And it's
especially
like a
That's
lot of
halfway
money.
across the
Donor.
world.
Donor
So
milk.
that's
Let's get
yeah.
into some stuff I don't. Ugh.
We can have that offline.
I
How
just
that
was
works.
curious. I'm like, I know she's pumping. Like, what do you do
Yeah,
with
I
all
was
that?
thinking the same thing. I was like, he's got to be there because I can't. Yeah,
That
that would be
actually would make
expensive.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is there. Yeah.
Yep. Um. So then we see Rachel having a conversation. Oh no, back to the Cam and Leroy. Cam just reiterates she wants Ayana in elimination and she wants to put Rachel in against her because she thinks of the other viable women. Rachel has the best chance to take out Ayana. Physically, yes,
Yes.
but you know, what if it's a puzzle or whatever, and you have to do these nominations before you can even see what the elimination is. So
There's
I
always the
always hate
chance
when,
the person you want to come back won't come back. There's always that chance.
yeah, I just hate when they like, oh, you're the best option, take him out physically, and it's like, okay, great, but what are the chances it's not physical?
Right.
How
Yeah.
about them apples? Though I guess it was probably a good guess because the last two eliminations seemed to be more puzzle and strategy based. So they were probably like, there's a higher probability that this will have some more physicality to it. Either way, we cut to a conversation of Rachel and Cara where, you know, Rachel's basically asking Cara not to say her name for the nominations because Rachel's like, I can feel the energy. I have a feeling they're going to want to put me in against Ayana. You know, maybe Cara and I kind of have a pact that as star holders will have each other's backs. And that's not a bad idea for Cara because
Not a bad
Rachel
idea at all.
is, you know, as far as star holders goes, Rachel is Cara's biggest competition. And she knows full fucking well that Rachel's going to want to get another star for her friends. And Cara's the only other female with the star. So she's like, you know, I need to try to play my cards as best as I can. Because I know it's going to be an uphill battle for me regardless. So we get to the nomination. They start with the guys. It goes very quick. Keefla versus Cyrus. They both said they were fine with it. And I mean, again, no one was going to say Leroy.
Right.
Several of them would advocate for Derek C. So that wasn't going to happen. And then, you know, Brad also has friends. So sadly it becomes Cyrus and Keefla. And then they get to the women. Cam immediately says, obviously, Ayana because of the shit she pulled. And she wants it to be Rachel to go against Ayana. And essentially tells everybody she wants them to back her up. And most of them do. A few of them are like, I've been friends with Rachel for 20 years. I've known you 2 minutes. Sorry, I'm not saying her
I
name.
have a lot to say about this, but we'll get to Cara's vote first before I say.
Yeah. Laurel also does not say Rachel. She says
Right.
Tina, I think.
Right.
And then we get to Cara. And I know there's been speculation. Was Cara really the last vote? Was she actually the second to third? You know, editing likes to do a thing. I believe Brandon said, I think it was
She was.
Brandon or
Brandon
she
said
was
she
the
was.
last vote. She
It
was
didn't
actually
matter
the last
anyway.
vote, which means it didn't matter if she said Rachel's name or not. Rachel was still going in against Ayana. Cara, you could tell Cara felt very torn because she does want to support her friend, but she also knows if I say Rachel's name and Rachel wins, I'm fucked.
Right.
My star's going to get stolen, and I'm going to lose one of the only allies I may have in this game from somebody who is very strong, very good at this, and not somebody I really want to have to go head to head with if I can avoid it. So Cara makes the best move for her game because it doesn't matter. It doesn't numbers don't
For
matter
her game, not
for her
Cam.
game.
For her game.
For her game.
And Cam has
Cam's
Leroy and everything.
Yeah.
Who does Cara have? Nobody.
Right?
She's alone.
This game
you know?
move is a personal game move. It's not a strategic game move. It's personal for Cam. She's rooming with Ayana and she don't want to deal with her because Ayana had the audacity to suggest breaking up an alliance.
Right. So Cam, I feel like she has, how do I want to say this? I don't want to say comes off as entitled. That's not the word I'm looking for, but she's done this before where, it's my way or no way.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's never bothered me until it went against Cara, because Cara did nothing wrong. She did what she needed to do for her game. And again, not Cam's game, her own game. And for Cam to be pissed off about that, look, you've played the game, you know how it works. Get over yourself.
And why isn't she mad at Laurel or anybody else that didn't vote for Rachel? You know what I'm
I
saying?
guess because she doesn't consider them friends, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe, but I think
But
she's
if-
close to them though.
But if
Still.
Kara is such your close friend, why wouldn't you? This is where I go back to why wouldn't you have ensured that she was partnered with Leroy
Sure.
in this
Yeah.
daily?
Mhm. And they don't
Sure.
really even talk either during the show. Like you barely see them talk. And then when they were talking, it was just in that group.
Yeah.
Like they've never been talking alone ever.
It's something I've said on some posts in like our group and other groups and stuff like that is I do take into consideration that part of what could be making Cam's reaction seem more heightened is she is more emotional right now due to hormones of being a newer mother who is still actively breastfeeding. Essentially, she's just pumping
Mhm.
instead of, the breastfeeding part. So I can imagine that's probably making things seem more excitable for her than they would on a normal level. But Cam's always been like this. Like
Mhm.
Cam is a very headstrong woman, and like I've said before, she has that mentality of like, why wouldn't you do what I said? I know what's best. Like, hello,
You're not
I've
with me, you're
proven it.
against me. That's what she's
Yeah.
like.
And in an individual game, that's not always going to work. Like everybody's already done what you have wanted for 2 straight episodes
Right.
by Leroy never even being voted for to go in elimination, despite the fact he keeps ending up in the loser group.
Right.
So
Well,
you still got what you wanted, but to like sit there and call her out like in public in that whole group is just like, oh girl, why?
well, there was that whole rumor that they had planned it, like they weren't going to be friends. Remember all that?
Mhm.
I mean, we know that's not true, but now we know that's not true. At first, you're like,
could hope.
that is weird. If they are friends, why are they acting like that? But
Yeah. Because Cara is not a good actress like that, and she genuinely looked very like this is not a fun
Taken.
spot for me to be in. And if it was something that was pre-planned, I don't think she would have looked so like, oh, fuck, I hate that I have to do
deer in the
this.
headlights or whatever.
Yeah, like I know Cam, I'm sorry, but like girl, you like let's be real, Cam, you're not gonna protect my star for me. You're gonna want your own, and you're gonna want one for Leroy. Fuck the rest of us, which I understand, but I have to do the same thing. I will help you out to keep you all safe, but this is not a situation where you were in danger of going home.
And it
You
didn't
wanted
even
Ayana to go
matter.
home.
Her vote
Yeah.
ultimately did not matter.
Yeah. I think it was like a principle of the matter instead of like, but still, and we're all assuming we'll see for sure in the next few episodes that maybe this is where the tension starts
Yeah.
between Cara and Cam. We're going to find out. So either way, like I said, it doesn't matter. Rachel ends up being the one to go against Ayana. When we get to the elimination, the guys are going to be going first. The elimination is titled Down the Tube. It's basically a giant metal grated cylinder tube, quote unquote, that spins in circles with a big black ball in the center. And the goal is to push the ball out of your opponent's opening 2 out of 3 times.
Out of your opponent's opening.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. Their whole, like, their entry point.
Well,
there's
I did
no
not
great
sound
way of
dirty.
saying it.
sounded dirty.
There's just going to be nothing but innuendos the whole time. Their hole, their opening, their exit point, their entry point. I don't know. Their moat. Like, so the guys go first, Keithla and Cyrus, and immediately you're just like, Cyrus, maybe you shouldn't have lost that weight before this season. If
Yeah.
it would have helped you. Keithla's a big dude.
Good for Keepla though.
Yes.
I love that guy.
I mean, Cyrus really tried to hold on the second round once he kind of saw what it was about. But Keyflow is just no match. Cyrus would have benefited from more body weight.
Yeah.
So that is over pretty quickly. And then we get to Rachel and Ayana, and that is
Okay,
a little
wait,
bit
wait.
more.
Wait. We have to mention Keefla's leg cramping up, but then he starts twerking.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that was the highlight of the whole episode. That was the greatest
That's
thing.
right.
He looked like he was really in pain there for a second. I was like,
I know. I was
"He
like,
got-
oh
he
shit.
got me. He
Yeah,
got
and
me."
I
I
was
was like,
he just started
"Oh,
doing that.
no, stretch him out." And then he's like,
Eh, 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 eh. I
Just
love him.
strutting
He
his
seems
stuff.
so much fun. He's so funny.
He's
He just
so
seems
funny.
like fun, like just a good
Mhm.
vibe. So again, the
Yeah.
women, you got Ayana versus Rachel, and it's much more of a dogfight. Like there's, Ayana's strong. Rachel's like, she's stronger than I thought she was. And of course, Rachel's strong. I mean, hello, this woman eats, breathes, sleeps, shits fitness. Like her
Right.
poop's probably healthy. You know what I mean? Like, and she looks phenomenal in person too. So obviously at the end of the day, Rachel ends up winning by a long shot, but Ayana really did try to fight for it. She was like chanting her kids' names to like try to motivate her to keep it in strong, but Rachel ends up coming out on top. Most of the house is like, "See ya, Ayana. Bye-bye. We don't want to deal with you in our house anymore." And now they can steal the stars. Keithla takes Brad's star. What do you guys think of him taking Brad's star over Steve?
Um, yeah, I don't he did it. I don't know.
Yeah, I just had
Do
no
you think he
really
should have taken
reaction to it.
Steve's instead of Brad's?
If it was me, I would have taken Steve's, but I understand why he took Brad's because he say he wanted to take somebody big down.
I would have
Of
done the
course,
same
now
thing.
you've painted that target on your back from that person.
Right. But the only way they're going to be able to get it from you is if they win an elimination.
Right, exactly. So
So I do
Yeah.
also kind of get it because you're like, well, what if he never gets a chance to win it? And then that's a strong competitor. I don't have to worry about
Yep.
seeing in the final.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Rachel decides to steal Tina's star and give it to Veronica.
Um,
I'm not
Yeah.
really sure. I mean, I understand why she didn't take Kara's. She didn't
She
have to
didn't
take
take Kara's on-
anybody's.
yeah, there's a reason she didn't take cars. I get it. I think, I think everybody knows Tina didn't earn it.
Mhm.
So
So it was just kind of easy.
not
Just
like- yeah.
But
she
she
didn't
still
earn
wants
it.
to
She
get
shouldn't
one
be
for
mad.
Tina anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
she wasn't
feel
mad,
like-
I don't think at all.
Yeah. She
That's
didn't
what I'm
even
saying. I
care.
feel like Tina wasn't going to be mad about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
I
thought
loved
her whole
her.
reaction was hilarious.
Lo-
Yeah. I think she knew it was coming. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like she knew. I feel like Rachel probably told her, if I win, I'm probably going to take yours.
Mhm.
But yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, this episode was okay. It wasn't as, explosive as the first two. Obviously we had a little bit of Ayana drama, but it was
Yeah.
much better than most of the episodes in season 39. So
That was way better than
Way
39.
better.
not even worried. We saw a few clips of, I'm assuming it's next week's episodes, could also be in future episodes too. We see Cara crying, talking about, I think on one of the male competitors, basically saying, I thought we were closer than that or better than that. We don't know who. Our theory is it's maybe about Brandon. And then just, Nicole and Laurel crap. And
I'm
that's
so
all I can
over
remember.
them.
I'm
Yeah.
already over them and they haven't even rekindled. But like I want to know if we're going to see the switch, because in this episode you clearly saw Laurel and Cara standing next to each other,
Mhm.
Completely fine, like when they were having their drink night. So there's clearly at this point in the game there's like a mutual civility between them two. Even
Right.
if it's not like friendliness, It's like we're cool. I hope we see when the switch happens. Because there has to be something. I don't know if it's maybe right when she gets with Nicole, before she gets back with Nicole. I don't know. But I want to see it.
It's probably gonna be the same thing all over again. She feels like, Kara's trying to get at Nicole. I just feel like it's that kind of like jealousy thing again. Like not exactly like Kara like liking Nicole, but just like that jealousy coming from it. That I could just
Yeah.
I thought
Laurel's
it
a
was
mess.
more of a maybe Kara's telling her, dude, don't be dumb and get back with this person. And Laurel takes offense to that.
Yeah.
Because God
know?
forbid. Because Laurel is obviously somebody who likes a yes man as their friends.
Oh, for
And
sure.
Kara's not a yes man. She's like, I'm just gonna tell you the truth. And if you still want to do it, you still want to do it. But
Right.
don't make yourself look like an idiot. How dare you? And then you look like an idiot.
And I know we've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm so glad Kara's back.
Yes.
I love seeing her on my TV. I love it.
Me too. Every
Yeah.
week. I'm like, yeah,
Yay!
this is the best part.
It makes me
Yeah.
happy.
It makes me happy too. I know. I love it. So I don't think anything else super exciting has happened as far as like behind the scenes info or tea or anything like that regarding this episode. Brandon did a live with Jemmy.
Jimmy and boobs.
Yeah, and her
Well,
newer boobs.
Tina is confirmed to be the sidekick, though. They did
Yeah,
confirm
that's
that.
right.
Yep.
That's right.
She's the
They
sidekick.
confirmed Ayana, not Ayana, that Tina was the sidekick to Ayana, getting her all stirred and riled up in the previous
Doesn't
week.
Me at all, though.
Brandon's called Tina a bitch.
Oh yeah, he don't really like
He-
her. He
He
was
does
he
not
saying
fucks
some
with
stuff.
her.
Yeah. He said that she would be pretty if she doesn't talk.
But he said what she doesn't do it for the cameras. Like, that is just how she is all the time.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
tried to say
well.
something and your connection froze.
Me?
All I heard was
Yes.
like this background noise of like ah.
What is wrong with my internet right now?
I thought mine was messing up. I was like, oh shit! Every time
Well,
I'm talking.
Y'all froze again. I was like, damn it. Is that my Wi-Fi?
Of course, right at the end is when it would happen, right?
That's okay. Just
It's okay.
slice it, or I don't look like I'm making
We're unique. That's okay.
or whatever.
She can't see us laughing. Poor Tia.
Oh,
I'll have to cut all this out. It's like somebody's
my
trying to drown her in a
Why are you
pool
laughing so hard?
because you keep roboting out.
My eyes are so watery from laughing.
I do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's
If
like
only-
it's
if
like you're
only you
trying to
could
talk
hear
in
it.
water.
Oh my god.
Is it gonna be weird on the? Can you?
I'm just gonna cut this part out probably. I mean, I
Wait, was
could
it
keep
before though? Before we talked about the end of the episode?
it. No, it's like literally in the last like 2 minutes, you just turned into like robots. You're just like, whoa.
Okay.
It's
I wish I
entertaining.
could see that.
I mean, I
was
could
like,
keep it
Caitlin's
in.
just high.
Wait,
What
we
is she
could keep it
laughing about?
in. It just shows we're unique and we're not
You know.
professional,
You know,
They'll just hear me and Nadine laughing.
that
I
is
was giggling.
That is embarrassing for me.
It's okay. You guys usually freeze for me at least once, and I'm like, God, there goes my internet.
Dang it.
Fucking Wi-Fi. It's okay. Anyway, that's the most exciting part of this week's episode. If you're not already following us on Facebook, we are The Challenge Unbothered. Instagram, The Challenge Unbothered as well. On YouTube, we are The Unbothered Podcast. We are also The Unbothered Podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcast platforms. We also are on Twitter, but don't follow us on Twitter.
Why?
Because
People not-
Joe.
Joe's pretty reckless
Oh.
on there.
Just kidding, Joe. Look, Joe runs our Twitter account, okay? And he is a very passionate individual. So just
Passionate.
Fair
Okay,
just gloss over it.
Don't say anything Joe doesn't like, or he's coming for you.
Right. I'm tired of getting the notification. I haven't gotten one in a while though. So he's behaving a little bit.
I guess I need to get on Twitter.
Or X as they call it.
X, whatever.
Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you next week for episode 4. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.